What's up everyone, welcome back to Weezer TV. I was legally required to change the name of the channel because I've been talking about them so much lately. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 20 favorite Weezer songs. I was initially planning to do an updated top 10 because I originally released one back in 2016, but as I started preparing, I realized that for a band of this magnitude, a top 10 wasn't going to cut it. We're taking into consideration every album in their discography, B-sides, whatever it might be, they are all eligible to chart on my top 20. Of course, these are all just my personal opinions, and I would love to know what your list is. Feel free to comment away. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I'm not going to waste much time with introductions because this is Weezer, and they have a ton of material, so I want to dive straight into the top 20. And I won't be ashamed of the games we once played, and I won't be coming back round here no more. I've said time and time again that Maladroit is an incredibly underrated record, and the most underrated song, in my own personal opinion, is Take Control. Not one of the singles, it's just a deep cut that features some awesome metal riffing, and Rivers Cuomo being Rivers in a very different way. I love the mannerisms that the entire band present on this one. The chorus is extremely catchy, and this song just really gets the blood flowing. At number 19, we have High as a Kite from their recent release, Weezer, The Black Album. This track is something that sees Rivers soaring high above all of the hate because, of course, at this point in their career, there are so many fans that are either torn completely, they love them, they love to hate them. There's people all over the place, and I think that Rivers and the rest of the band just kind of have to turn a blind eye to it and keep making whatever they're gonna make. I personally didn't care for the majority of the Black Album, but this track, High as a Kite, is absolutely incredible. I love the vocals, especially once they really tower towards the end of the track, and just how consistent the drums and the overall guitar feeling is. And that chorus, it just floats, man. It hits you, it feels smooth, and it feels happy. At number 18, I'm cheating just a bit and including an entire trilogy of tracks, which I feel could have been just one song. It's 7 minutes and it closes out the end of Ubate, Everything Will Be Alright in the End in magnificent fashion. We get 3 tracks that make this up, and they're all absolutely incredible, with 2 of them being instrumental. This trilogy of tracks is known lovingly as the Futurescope Trilogy, and like I said, it's a journey that is absolutely worthwhile. It starts off with The Wasteland, goes into Anonymous, the only cut to feature vocals, and that one is just so damn good. I love how they bring in this swirling pace that is so unique, but also so Weezer, and then the closing moment, Return to Ithaca, it gets loud. Those guitars are like a wind-up toy, and when they really go off, everything from the keys to the drums to the guitars, it's all going and setting into motion to make you want to listen to this album again. The Futurescope Trilogy is absolutely underrated, so please do yourself a favor and listen to it because it's amazing. The slow burn at the end of the Blue Album makes its way onto the list at number 17. Only in Dreams is something that really every indie kid probably loves, whether it be secret love or just something that they're constantly professing to the public. This is a track that I definitely stand up for. It's the longest song on the album, one of the longer Weezer songs in general, but my god do they make it worthwhile. This is something that keeps you in suspense with a kind of moody atmosphere, and they eventually just start to break into this catchy appeal. And then it goes out on a slower note as well. It's just one of those songs that knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat and entertained, and that's why I've been listening to it for over a decade now, and most people have probably been listening to it for decades longer than me. Talk about doing a 180, I absolutely could not stand this song at first. I did not like the chirping whistles, I didn't like how cutesy it felt, but now I somehow find myself coming back and finding myself to be a bit of a hypocrite because I don't know why I didn't like this song.
Maybe we'll strangle old John by the neck and say this should have been on your top 10 or top 20 long ago.
But at number 16, we have Da Vinci. We see Rivers Cuomo once again talking about some sort of love interest that he can't even describe. Even Da Vinci couldn't paint her. And he talks about the family history, everything in the background. It's just kind of a quirky track. There's a lot of quips on here, and then the chorus is just really catchy. The guitars kick in, and this performance is just one for the ages. It's a unique Weezer song, and it's an amazing one.
I know you're out there waiting for me there, but I don't know if I can get back.
Changing opinions present themselves once again. At number 15, I have Get Right from Pacific Daydream. This is a track that I initially listed in my least favorites on that album, and I really don't know how. I feel that producer Butch Walker did a great job with this track, bringing it to life, adding a little bit more of a lush pop rock feel to it, but there's also a lingering sting as Cuomo cries out, I know you're out there waiting for me there, but I don't know if I can get right. It's The guitars on this track never really explode or anything, but I also kind of love how subdued it is. It's a different mood for Weezer, and it really works and looks good on him.
She's a lesbian. I thought I had found the one. We were good as married in my mind.
At number 14, we have Pink Triangle from Pinkerton. I don't think I had ever put that correlation together. Pink and paint. Rivers Cuomo went back to college at Harvard University during the writing and recording before Pinkerton. This is an album that initially commercially and critically did not fare well, but in recent years has become kind of cult status. Everybody seems to love it, including myself. It's my favorite, spoiler alert, from Weezer, and this track, Pink Triangle, has always been something that I've gravitated towards because it's just so self-loathing. He's saying, of course, this girl is a lesbian. I'm dumb, she's a lesbian, but I already thought about all these fantasies, all these things that we can be. Poor old Rivers Cuomo could not catch a wind back in those days, and I know I probably shouldn't be making light of that. I just feel that the man doesn't take himself seriously at all anymore. He definitely did during that era, and this track, it slams hard, as do so many of the tracks on Pinkerton.
I reached the higher place that no one else can make a playlist.
Despite hitting the unlucky number 13 position, this song is anything but that. It is gorgeous and very vibrant and rich when it comes to the musicality. It's very different and out there for Weezer, but it's still kind of a nail hit right on the head. And Rivers, he's truly in ascending form. It's something where I really feel that they rise above a lot of this stuff in their discography. It pulls them kind of out of the mire and the mixed feelings that I do have on that record, and it's one of those Weezer songs that is pretty much undeniable. Listen everyone, I want answers and I want them now. Why was Wind in Our Sail not a huge summer smash? This is a song that fascinates me because there are so many lyrics out there that just feel like they're kind of floated in because they fit, but there's also ties in from everything to Charles Darwin, to Beagles, to everything else, but it's also so chiming, so consistent. I love the drums here, the keys. The backing vocals are so on point. The chorus is a huge swell that you have to sing along to, and that bridge, it's one of the most fascinating parts, the way that they lead that back into the final chorus and the big takeoff. It's a song that you just want to see performed live, but they really just don't do it. We got a fun, more obscure pick at number 11 from the deluxe reissue of Pinkerton. This is I Just Threw Out the Love of My Dreams, which does not feature Rivers Cuomo or any of the other members of the band on lead vocals. In fact, it's Rachel Hayden from the band That Dog. She's also done some solo stuff, and she really kills this performance. How did I not know about this song until late last year? I did an underrated Weezer Songs video, which shout out to that. Tap the card on screen if you want to see it. It's it's a song that I discovered then, and I was absolutely blown away. It's musical bliss and ecstasy that comes through with a layer of pain in the lyrics. It's like, I just kind of threw away everything that I ever really wanted because I'm insecure or because I feel that I'm not the best person for them, and what the hell am I doing? But my God, this uses synthesizers and drums and everything to remain so catchy and so peppy sounding, but it's actually kind of damn dark. Finally cracking the top 10 at number 10, we have LA Girls from the White Album. This is a song that screams classic Weezer and just like something that you want to repeat over and over again. It's got this cycle of catchiness. It builds up and then the chorus and then the faster paced verses where it seems like Rivers is just kind of rambling about this girl that he's interested in, and then he's like, LA girls, please act your age in the chorus. It's just so smooth. This song is like an ice cream on the beach on the hottest day of the year, and then you just got handed the biggest reward because you're like, thank you. This is exactly what I needed right now. And it's a combination of like 60s and 70s music meets modern and also Blue Album Weezer, and I think a lot of that credit goes to Jake Sinclair, who produced this record and kept them true to that sound.
Forgive your foolish father. He did the best that he could do.
Weezer gained a lot of fame and notoriety on the back of a single, Say It Ain't So, where Rivers Cuomo kinda opened up about his relationship with his estranged father. Now, on this track, we have Foolish Father coming in at number 9. It previously ranked a little bit higher on my last top 10, but there's just so much shuffling that goes on, but do not think that that undermines its quality. It's the rightful closer to the album in a way, but it also paves the way for the Future Scope trilogy to roll in, and I love that. There's a children's choir singing Everything Will Be Alright in the end. This song is ridiculously catchy. It's always buzzing around in my head, and that's not something I'm going to complain about, but it's also a lesson in forgiveness, not only for Rivers himself forgiving his own father for the things that he did or did not do, but also a message to other people who are struggling with maybe their father or a family member that they can't let go of.
Hang on till I see you again. I'm going to be more than a friend.
Weezer's 2010 album Hurley has some underrated gems that you have to go mining for to find, but this one, Hang On, readily presents itself as being amazing. This is a song in recent years that has manifested itself and its great qualities to me. Michael Cera is even a part of this track, so maybe that even further influences you to go hear it if you haven't. Hang On at surface level might seem like it's about a girl that is waiting for Rivers, and Rivers is saying, hang on, I want to be more than friends, I want this to work out, so please hang on and wait for me. But I feel this is something that kind of transcends the lyrics, and I enjoy the music even more. The backing vocals, the chants, hang on, and then the musically rich experience that you get, especially once that hook slams, that's what really puts the nail in the coffin for this being absolutely incredible. I don't know what I was missing the first few times around with Hurley, but this is an absolute gem.
World has turned and left me here just where I was.
Another Blue Album classic at number 7, The World Has Turned and Left Me Here. This is a melancholic state that I just love to kind of wallow in. This is one of those songs that I have come back to for the longest time, and it's slowly risen higher and higher on my own personal top 20 list. This features a very reflective kind of guitar and chugging feeling to it. I love the bass on it and the way that it kind of progresses, but also kind of walks in a circle. It feels like you're going somewhere, but also nowhere, but it's also an amazing journey. I feel like that's kind of a confusing description, but I feel like you probably also know why this song is incredible. The lone selection from the Green Album is Hash Pipe, a classic Weezer single that I've been listening to for quite some time now. It was one of the first Weezer songs that I ever discovered. It's weird, but it also features some heavy riffs that I really find to be juicy and delectable, and it's something that I can sink my teeth into, and Hash Pipe is one of those tracks that I feel like if you don't like Weezer even, you still like this song. And this is something that's held the test of time. It's about to turn 20 years old, but here it is, still chugging along and doing incredible. Earlier, we touched on this treasure chest when we discussed Foolish Father from Ubate, but now from the Blue Album, we have Say It Ain't So. This is something that you've probably been hearing on alternative rock radio for decades now, and perhaps you're sick of it, but this song still really slams like a hammer to me, especially once you finally get past those kind of chill verses, and then, oh my god, say it ain't so. The spiteful energy and the anger that Rivers feels towards his father is truly felt once the bridge builds up and he's saying, oh, listen, oh, I hear you found Jesus, you cleaned yourself up, and you're getting back out there, but what about us? What about the son and the family that you left behind? And it just moves into that guitar solo, and obviously it's one of the greatest Weezer songs for a reason. Everybody looks to this as the Weezer classic. Well, it's certainly one of them.
Enjoy the show.
I'm not always a huge fan of the ohs and the whoa 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 and the na 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 vocals, but on Dope Nose, my number 4 selection, this short little ditty absolutely works, and it reels you in with the whoa, oh. Can I also just mention that I love the music video for this song? I mean, it's Weezer playing and then there's like cars and motorcycles doing donuts and burnouts all around them. I don't know exactly how that makes sense for this song, but at the same time, it absolutely does because it's Weezer. This Dope Nose absolutely implies darker themes, perhaps addiction, but it's presented in such a pretty little package, like a gift on your birthday, a bright sunshine ray shining down upon you. I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but I love it either way, and it's just slowly become one of my top 5 favorite Weezer tracks.
From the girls all around as they search the night for someone to hold on to.
At one point in time, I listed this as my favorite Weezer track, and while that has changed over the years and hasn't been true for probably the better part of a decade now, it's still an incredible track that I feel kinda gets dismissed by a lot of hardcore Weezer fans that say, oh, the singles, even from Make Believe, they're so shitty, and I'm like, perfect situation. You heard this one? It's like classic Weezer, but also with a little bit of updated sound. It's like power pop meets alternative and also chiming keys, and I love it. The self-deprecating feeling to it. Rivers cannot capture the love. He doesn't know what to do or where to go. He's out looking around, but he's also striking out because he's a zero.
Never meant to do all that I've done to you. Please, baby, say it's not too late.
This is beginning to get serious. At number 2, we have Get You off of Pinkerton. This is a dark, kind of gloomy, but also kind of heavy, intense track that really slams, especially once the Get You, I love those backing vocals, the way that they kind of gang up on that one. That live performance that I just played during the transition, that is something that they nailed decades after it was initially released, and I truly appreciate that. I love when a band pays homage to their roots, where they came from, and Get You continues to live on because of its bitterness, because of its vulnerabilities, I guess, but just because of the dark sensations that mix so well with the band's chemistry.
Pour yourself some tea, just like Grandma made when we couldn't find sleep. Things were better then, but never again. We've all left the dead there until you fight it.
The peak, the summit, the top of the mountain, the top of the list, and the top of the totem pole. The number 1 spot for the best Weezer song, in my own personal opinion of course, goes to My Name is Jonas off of the Blue Album. This tells the tale of a man named Jonas who is out there working. He's trying to get home. The workers are going home, and it's just a very odd track in some ways with the lyrical things that are presented to us. I think that there's a definite scheme and plot to this song, and I've never entirely been able to put a finger on it, but I love its energy. It sways back and forth between building up, but also kind of just rocking us through it, kind of rioting through the streets like maybe a worker is protesting something. It's still my favorite Weezer song. It was number 1 on the last top 10 that I put out, and I even named my favorite pet ever. My little hamster Jonas, who passed away last year, was named after this track. It's incredible. It means a ton to me. I love the rollicking guitars, the fun feeling. Rivers' vocals on this are absolutely ace. It's a gem of a tune, something that I will cherish and pass on to future generations. That's it. My top 20 Weezer songs have been revealed. Let me know your thoughts on the list in the comment section down below, and feel free to drop your top 5, top 10, or top 20 down there as well. Other than that, if you would like other top 10s in the future, then leave a request in the comments section, drop a like on the video, and of course, if you would be able to, then please support the channel on Patreon at the top link down below. It truly does help support this channel and help videos like this keep coming. There's a direct link to my Patreon in this annotation in the corner of the screen. If you happen to miss my Weezer ranked episode I did, where I ranked all of their albums from worst to best, then tap here or tap here for another recent video. Other than that, my socials can be found in the description down below, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.